Hey everyone, just wanted to let y'all know that my physical copy of my graphic novel is now available to purchase on Amazon. There's also the ebook form, but it's finally done. I'm excited. Finally got the physical copy ready to go. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave the links down in the descriptions, alright? Other than that, I hope you enjoy the video. Bye.
And welcome back to Wicked Art. It is Wicked here, and today is going to be the last video of this year. So, not the last video ever, but just the last one of this year. I have a lot of holiday stuff coming up, plans with family. So, this is going to be the last one I'm going to be able to work in with time, so I hope you enjoy it. But I thought we'd talk about doing ice today for a character and how to kind of, bring that to uh, I don't know, for just an easy way to build it up. So we're not going to go like overly detailed. So I've gone ahead and I've kind of set up several layers here. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of that, select it, and put that on a layer, trace over it, whatever. You can take a screenshot of this. It's basically just a copy of the two, same thing. Kind of being lazy on that one. But you can draw that on there, and then Iceman himself. And let me pull that one back up. We'll kind of go out a little bit so you can get the rest of the legs. And then just, adjust it according to whatever. And then we have, of course, his little ice slide. So you can take a screenshot of that. But now that we have all that, what we're going to do is we're going to start um, setting up some basic colors here. So I'm going to start with uh, just Iceman himself. And we're just going to call this color. And I'm going to pick my magic wand and go to my lines layer. And we're just going to wrap around him like that. And I'm going to do select inverse. Come down to that color layer, put a mask. That way I can freely color wherever I want. Okay, so now we want to kind of choose a somewhat of a darker uh, blue, and then what this will do is kind of represent the uh, shadowed areas. So as you can see, I kind of did, this is not black. If I zoom in, it's kind of a bluish, dark blue color for the outline. Um, let's just test out this color first. Let's see how it looks. So it's going to kind of be like almost like a water. Let's come over here and see what this one looks like. Yeah, we'll go for this one. So if you want to know the colors for that, you've got your RGB. You can just double click on that and you can type in, so 85, 134, and 160. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to fill him in. Now, there's two ways that we could do this. You can do like a hard brush, like what I'm using, or you could softly bring in the highlights and things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch to a white, and we're going to hit up those highlight areas. Now, certain places for that would be closer to the edge of things, or like these areas that I have sectioned out. Again, if you need to switch back and forth between colors, you just hold the Alt key down. But I'm going to hit up all of my brightest spots that I'm going to have on here. And just kind of continue from there. And and just get those areas that I picked out as being the brightest parts. Okay, select different sections of the face. Maybe not so close to the underside of the eye. I don't know why I'm erasing that. I just need to color back over it. And of course the eyes themselves, I'm going to make white. Okay, so I'm going to get this section of the hair here. And try my best not to go inside of that. Take that up. So you can see I'm not hitting every single place. We just want a few spots to have our highlights in. And of course you can change it up however you want. And also want to apologize for the sound quality. Y'all who are new to the channel may not know. Those who've been here do know. Um, my headset thing does not work correctly with this, doing a screen recording. So I have to use a bad headset that has terrible sound quality, so I apologize for that. But it's the best I can do right now until I figure out something else. Okay. So you can see it's kind of giving us those reflections that we want. Now certain areas I can add to. And ice is very tricky, so I mean if you need to, of course, always pull up a reference if you need one. There's no shame in looking up things like I don't know, ice cubes. You could look up glaciers, just anything you can think of that'll help you achieve what it is you're trying to achieve. So this is, and don't feel bad about how yours look. This is the first for me too. I've never really done an ice character. It's probably why you've never seen me really draw Iceman. I mean, I can convey it really well on paper. But as far as coloring goes, I have never tried it myself, so it's a first for me. So we're just going to kind of learn as we go. It may or may not look absolutely awesome when we're done, but we're going to do the best that we can. So again, we're just hitting up all these highlights just so I can get a better visual understanding of where everything's going to go. Okay, so now we have, let's do this. Let's try, and the nice part is we can change anytime we want to. I'm going to try and put some white inside of here for these hair pieces. Okay. So now he looks more like Waterman than he does Iceman. So now we want to start looking at something that is in between. So let me come back this, and we want, let's try something in this range. Let's see how that looks. Let's lean a little bit more towards the white side so we don't look too much like Waterman. So we're going to go with that for now. So that color is 185, 221, and 237. Alright, so now we're going to come in and we're going to start hitting up different areas. And you can see I'm not going to go all the way to the edge just because I want to use that still as my kind of shadow. And again, always remember to pull your image out so that you can check and see different aspects of it. Let's pull back. There's some. Again, we can kind of pull out and look at it. And then just continue. So I'm going to hit up other areas down in here. And some stuff I may come back and like do these edges and hit them white. So I'm doing kind of a hard round version. And let's see, let's come over here. Kind of round that up. Keep that close to the thumb. And then what we can do is we can take a look and see what that would look like with a white outline. So you can see if I pull off on that, now that I have that white edge up there, it kind of helps add to the reflectiveness. And again, that's just what it's going to look like for now. We may come in and make several adjustments later. Let's get some of this white in here on these fingers. down in here. And I can add some white in there. So again, this is all just a experiment for me. To bring back some of this darkness a little bit. Let's do that right down in here. And get that in there. And we can come back. And we can put some white down in here. So again, we can pull out and see how that's looking. It's not too bad so far. Right, so I'm coming back and picking my kind of mid-tone blue here. I want that white to extend the whole length, so I'm going to pull that out. So like down here in this area we can have some shadow. Let's keep that separated right here. Let's see what that looks like that. Let's keep that dark. Okay, so we'll continue up this way. Now this area here, I'll keep that a shadow, as well as this down here. So let's bring a little bit of that back. Let's also connect that there. Let's keep that dark right there. Bring that back a little bit. Again, I can come back to my white and kind of hit those edges up. So again, we can pull back and look. Probably want a little bit of shadow right here. So let's turn that way and let's see what that looks like. And that gives us a little bit more depth. Like that. Alright, so now we can start coloring in this end. And once we get over to this side, and get a little shadow. So course, if we need more, I can just simply come in here and bring that back. Get some of my white. Again, you just keep pulling out and looking. Let's see where you want to go. And again, this is just me experimenting. I mean, there's probably like an easier way to do this. If you have suggestions or tips that you would like to give, I am not above criticism. You can let me know. Alright, let's see. Let's come back in here. Let's come this way. And we'll take this down. Let's start coloring that in. Now, certain areas we don't have to have a ton of shadow work. Just like this area with the line work here. If we need to add any, we can come and check it later and fix it. So for right now, I'm just going to color all that in. Make sure this is nice and straight. Okay. Start coloring that in. Round. Alright, so I'll fill that in. I think what I'm going to do, see what that looks like. I know I want to bring this back some. Let's see here. We'll experiment. Let's see what a little shadow on the inside there looks like. It's not bad. Let's see this way. That. Yeah, that looks a little better like that. Okay, so we'll just bring that in. Leave a little shadow in there. Like that. Right, so you can see now we're starting to get some of that blue in there. Other areas, before I start working the body, the face keeps bothering me. Like, I think I'll get a better feel of it. So I'm going to come in here. Let's try this side. For some reason I didn't fill in that eye all the way. Let's see what that looks like. Like that. Let's get a little bit more white right there. Of course, we can do that underside of the face. let's do this. Let's bring this way. Fill that back in. Let's see. Let's see what we get out of this here. There's certain aspects of this that we want differently. So let's come in here. Let's see what this looks like. Let's try a little shadow right in here. And we can kind of swoop that up right there. And we got a little shadow right here. Let's see what that does. And then we want to get a little bit right here in the curve of the head. See what that does for us. Yeah, that works out a lot better. Okay. We do want a little bit of some lighter color there. That's a lot better. Now let's see what this will look like. Like that. A tiny bit right there. Put some along the edge of the hair up here in the front. Okay. So that looks good like that. So now I can kind of really see what's going on. Let's try and get a little bit on the edge right here near the chin. Like that. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna look pretty decent. Alright, let's start working out the rest of the body here. So now I want that edge for the shadow. Just kind of filling that in. And we'll keep that going to there. Let's connect that right here. Okay, I'm going to sweep that back. Like that. Kind of sharpen that up a little bit. And we'll get the rest of the chest to about right there. Let's bring that down a little bit more even. And then obviously we can come in and put more, highlights and stuff if we need. But for now, we'll hold here, switch back to our main. Let's see how that looks. Let's kind of arch that like that there. Pull that inside of here. And we'll fill in back here. Let's see what that looks like when we're done. Let's see. Want to bring back this a little bit. And same thing here. Bring that back out some. Like that. Okay. And let us continue to build up. Alright, so we want, see what happens, we square that off, see what that looks like. And I'm going to round this to about here. Kind of sharpen that off a little bit. Excuse me for the cough in my throat's a little, it's not messed up, it's just kind of phlegmy today. So, I'm sure it's kind of gross, but I'm sorry. I'm working with the best I can. Okay, so now we got that. Again, we just kind of pull back, take a look. See, a lot of this stuff we can just give hints of a different color tone without giving up too much of the shadow back here. So it's almost like it's a lighter ice. Let's kind of knock that back again like that. All right, and then I'm going to choose this shape right here. We can fill in that whole X. Same thing right here. Alright, so now let's go ahead and fill up that knee here. Now I want this whole upper layer. Let's close that off there. And let's get some of this white back. Oh, that's fading. Okay, do the same thing here. Get some of that white in there like that. let's go ahead up in here. Pull that. Come this way. And we'll just kind of play with the shape right now. And down in here, kind of make this shape here. That'll be the top and the bottom. So I'm going to probably put a little bit of white right here along this top edge, right there. Okay. And let's just stick with the bottom right now. Let's kind of go up here. We'll kind of cut that off that way. Let's see what that looks like. Let's come back with a little bit right here. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. Now we have a little bit of an overlap from this leg, right? So I'm going to take that area there. So now we're kind of switching shadow positions a little bit. Okay, and we're just going to kind of curve that there and just connect that. So let's see what that looks like. It's not too bad. Let's bring this color here along that back edge, and that can be kind of like our back highlight. Like that. That way it's not like super bright, but it's enough to kind of give a little bit of a backlight glow. That pretty much takes care of that side of the body. So now we can come in and start working back up in this area again. Alright, so let's do our shoulder. You know, we want this shape at least. Let's take this down to right here. And we'll fill all this in and just take a look at it, see what it looks like, what adjustments we want to make. Okay, so let's see. Let's bring back a little here, a little here. See what that looks like. too bad. Feel like this is a little off. So let's cut that back some. And we want, let's see, our light's coming in from this side. So we want to start breaking in a little bit right here. And get that bicep. Let's fill that in, see what that looks like. Because if you remember, if you're new to the channel, you may not know, I tend to lean towards things that go for more things that look cool as opposed to what's 100% accurate. So let's run that off there. And let's bring that up into there like that. Let's see what that looks like. That's a lot better. Alright, let's take our color and go around. And we can come this way. Just kind of cutting into that a little bit. Let's see what we get. Let's bring that back some. See what that looks like. That's a little better. And then right here, kind of curve that around like that. Now let's see. I'll try something. Yeah, we'll leave that like that. I like that with a bigger area of coverage. Um, and I want to take this color here. We'll kind of do a slight little edge. And we'll go back. And just use the white. Just like that. Alright, so now we want to start working in our fingers. So let's start getting that shape of how we want that to look. Okay, so I'm going to fill that hand in and let's see where we're at. That's pretty good. Now let's curve out that way. So we can at least cover these top sections here because we know, where they're going. Kind of round those down. And let's see. Take that way. Let's kind of build up this shape a little bit. Go like that. Bring that back. Do you want a little bit right here? And take that back to there. And get a little bit right here. Again, anything is subject to change if I don't like the way it looks. So we got that there. That is not the correct color. Now we got what we're looking for. Okay. Kind of pull that, connect that there. And the reason I'm not really like going too much with shadow right now is just because it is ice, so it's not going to be as heavy on the shadow unless, of course, it was like nighttime or something. But that's not what I'm going for. So we're using what we're using. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. So a little bit of that. Now let's come back to this region. And we're going to color that. And get about this far down on that side. Okay, got that. Let's continue on. I'll fill that in. Like that. And right there. Let's see what we got. Alright, so we got a little bit more. Let's try again with this next finger. We have that there. Now the real question is what I want to do with this forearm down here. Let's expose this top region like that. And let's see how it looks like the other way, because I think I want to have my shadow here. So let's switch back. And let's put this on the underside. Like that. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it's a little better. And we of course cannot forget our white highlights. Just on the edges. Again, just enough to give us that reflection. Let's do this last finger here. And we'll do slight edge here on the bottom. I just want to put some down here on the belt. A little bit too much right there. And let's see what it looks like. Alright, so that's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's bring up our other ice layer. And we're going to say color. Now I'm going to remove the lines layer right now, as well as the color layer here, just so that I can pick the things I need to pick. Now, if that's doing that, that means something is not closed off. So let's check the edges. There it is, right there. So let's close that there. Let's make sure there's no other broken lines. Um, right there. That. And it should do it. Let's see. Nope, something's still broken. And that would be this piece here. Let's do this. Let's get rid of that there. Let's try that again. There we go. And that takes care of that. And that takes care of that. Alright. Now, I'll come back down here like that. Where it says color, I'm going to select the inverse. And I am going to pull this back up, and we're going to do the same thing. I want to get this darker color. And turn that back off. And let's start filling it in. And then I can hit that mask color as well too. Turn these back on. Now the key thing is you can see how that's in front of, right? We don't want that. So I'm going to go to this ice line layer, and I'm going to find it. Let's do the color first. Turn that off. I'm going to erase all that line work. That is inside of the fingers. So just be careful. Make sure you're looking around. And we want to get this thumb here. Now everything else past in front of the arm, that's okay. So let's get our finger back. Oops, that's too far. Let's get our finger back. Just enough. Again, just bring the finger back. And just be careful. See, that's why you remember to pick up your brush, because I keep just going with it. If you don't want to end up going back all the way, remember to pick your brush up. This would be helpful if I kind of turn the color off too. It'd be very helpful. Bring that back. There we go. Okay, so now we're starting to clear the hand back up. And then any parts that need to be filled back in, just simply fill them in. Okay, so now if I turn the color back on, you can see the difference between the two. So let's come over here to our thumb. We want to bring that back as well. A little bit of space in there. Okay. And then we're going to come down. We're going to do the same thing over here. So first thing I'm going to do is take care of the lines that are passing in front of my hand. So we don't need those. Same thing with the arm. Well, no, we want that to cover the arm. So keep that. It's just the hands that are a concern. Okay. Turn that color back on. Turn the lines off. Turn that color off. So that's all I'm doing. Just making sure my fingers are no longer blocked. Okay, I can turn that line work back on and see what I need to fill back in, if any. Like that. A little bit right there. And that should be it. We turn everything back on now, and now we can continue with the ice powers emanating from his hand. So now that we have that in there, let's go ahead and start adding in our light blue color. Now this one we don't have to be as detailed with, because we have an easier bit of shapes to work with. So let's kind of come in that way, and then right here we want to kind of bring that in. That there. And again, you can always pull back and look at how you're doing. So let's come out right here. And we'll kind of cut into that. Like that there. And come down. Now here's, once we get down on this bottom region, we're going to have to change things up a little bit. Same thing on this side. So once I start switching down, I'm going to switch my shadow over. Bring back just a little bit. We may just hit that up with some white on some of these skinnier edges. Um, let's get this down here. And then same thing here, we want that underside to be the dark spot. And we'll take this here. Just because I want the hand kind of casting shadow there, but we're going to bring that down. Into here. And you can see the little particles, I'm just filling in white. Or not white, but with that light blue. Kind of went over right there. I'm going to take this way. And keep that back edge as well as that. And coming in through here, be careful so I don't take my finger away. A little bit here. Take that down. Let's switch that up that way. And hit that piece. So now you can see we have that. So now I can come in, I can just color pick that white. And we can get a little bit of white here on the edge. A little bit here. And fill that in white. And come up here towards the top as well. And it doesn't have to be, straight white all the way through. Like you can come here, see how I'm not stretching it the full length of the finger down. Same thing here, I can just fill in like that edge. And just get bits and pieces of it. There. Just hit up that side. And let's do that. And we'll hit this little bit of white right here on the edge. I'm just going to do that white down there. Alright. So you can see it's added a little bit of color to that. And then we want to do the same over here. So let's get our light blue back. You can see we kind of started with the shadows on that side, so we're going to do the same thing over here. remember our small pieces, then we're just going to get those light blue anyway. So let's just go ahead and go around and hit those up. Right, so come back over here. And we'll come back down. And we'll continue to do the same thing until we get to that turning point. So here's where we reach the turn. So I'm going to start hitting up this edge. Right there. And now let's start going out that way. Hit that and that right there. Bring that edge back down. Make sure we don't go over our finger a little bit. Okay. Now I want to kind of keep things even, so I'm going to come back this way. And we're going to work our way down. Again, if you accidentally color over your finger, just bring it back some. Okay, so same thing. Let's see. Let's get this side here. And again, we'll fix up any parts that kind of overlap or mess with our finger. So I don't want that. Okay, so let's pull back and see what we got. We're good there. Now let's bring in that white. I'm going to start right here on this edge. Again, we don't have to go all the way down. Just hit enough of it to get that shine. Okay, so we put that in there. Again, we don't want to go over the finger. Put a little bit right there. And we'll come down the finger. Okay, and work our way down here. And again, just start hitting up some spots next to the blue. we go. Let me hit that. And let's zoom out and take a look. Okay, so we have all that down. And that takes care of the color on that. So next we're going to do this ice slide. Like again, just in case you missed it at the beginning, this is the slide going down. So if you want, like I said, you can take a screenshot of that. And then you can, just trace over it basically if you need to. Okay, so I'm going to leave all that off. I'm going to come down here to my ice slide. Let's erase this. I must have had some left over. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to pick this. So that's all selected. I'm going to go select, inverse, and then I'm going to hit color. And I'm going to mask it. Alright, I'm going to pull this back up real quick. Because again, I'm going to start with this darker tone. For our shadow. Okay. Now this one's going to be a little bit more simple because all we need to do are the edges here. Those are going to stay the dark color. This top portion we're going to do as the lighter color. This is our main focus. It's not on that, so we don't have to go so crazy into detail. And one thing I will say, working like this with your brush broad will definitely cause you to spill over. So what you want to do is come back and you can work closer like this if you don't want to come back through and have all these screw ups. Excuse my dog barking. They like to bark at each other when they go outside. But yeah, so we'll just fix this up. Let's hit this top edge right here, and this is the point where it's kind of curving down. So we're going to keep a lot of that shadow here. But you can see I'm kind of getting this side edge now. Okay, so again, if you have to, shrink your brush down smaller to work in those edges. Some of these spots, like where these creases are, I want to keep those dark. Okay, I can continue on. This kind of twists. Let's keep that dark. And then we come back up to our upper surface. Let's come this way. And we'll cut that down. And come across. put that in there. So you can see now if I turn that back on, looks like he's sliding on his ice. Just wanted to show that real quick. And then we're just going to continue. Let me erase this. Not sure why that's straggling there. Erase that color out as well. Alright, come back and pick our light color. Just want to be careful. Make sure you don't get into any of those grooves. Okay. So again, you're going to be very careful when you get back to these spots if you need to shrink your brush down so you don't go too tiny. That'd be a good choice. Now, if you're wondering if I, spent the time and drew this entire ice bridge, I did not. I just drew that first half down here and copied the layer and just moved it over. Okay, now this is where we're going to get a little difference, right? So we see how we have this side edge here. What we don't want is just the way that the shadows fall. We're going to kind of have the opposite going on this side here. Okay, and that's our side. And it starts to twist right here. So I'm going to hit up this top edge. And again, just be careful. Some of these spots where they got the little dents in, we want to leave that shadowed. And then we can zoom out and look at our effort. Okay, so now we got one last thing we're going to do. I'm going to pick up that white. And we're going to do the same thing we were doing before. We're going to hit up these edges. I actually need to turn that back dark. And then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate those edges. So you can see I'm being a little loose with it. Let's fill that back in. And just hit up those side edges there. Again, this is the side of the slide. So I'm just going to make sure that that top edge is reflective. Okay, and we move up and we do the same thing. keep that far edge. Let's hit this edge here. Now I'm not going to do the whole edge on here because we're just going to get the sunlight from this side. So we'll just hit up that. And do the same over here. Just like that. And now I can bring back all of my lines in color. Okay. Now something you can do is, so I can take this ice line, right? It's just something we're going to try. We're not necessarily going to stick with it. But what I can do is I can highlight everything just on the top one. And I can go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay. Now let's jump this up to 15. And then go down to the color. And since I've already set it, I can just click Gaussian blur again. And it'll do the color with it. So now if I hit Command D, you can see it's starting to fade into the background. Okay. So it's a choice, it's an option. I'm going to leave it that way. And now, next thing I want to do is give this a background. Okay, so I'm going to try a few things. I want to make it interesting. I'm going to try a radial first. And let's try and do a standard. And let's evenly space these out. Like that. Okay. So we could do something like that. You can always switch and change things. I like that radial. Now let's see if we can find another color that works better. Let's try that. That's not too bad. Let's try blue. That's too plain. So let's keep that. And let's do like right behind him. Okay. Let's extend that out some more. So we're going to start from the head and go this way. And then let's go up to the letters of our title. Let's do a stroke. See what it looks like with a blue. Let's try, and I'm just testing out different things. Let's try a drop shadow. I'll make that blue as well. Let's get that distance out there. Size. Let's change the color. Let's see what brighter blue. Bring the size. Bring the distance back. Check the spread. Okay, so we'll stick that. And let's try a stroke. See what that does. Get another blue, like a darker, like that. And what I can do is I can hit Command J, make a copy, turn those effects off, hit Command on that layer, and let's try this way. So we want to pull it down. Come down from the top. And then there we go. Excuse me. Now, one other thing. Let's try, and if this doesn't work, it's gonna be it. I can do anything else to it, but I'll select that ice. Let's try like a bloom effect. So I'm gonna go and get a airbrush. Come on, where did I stick that airbrush? Here we go. Right, nope, went past it. Right there. Let's try more along the lines of this color. Let's change that to color dodge. Why did that thicken like that? Let's try it at a 50. Mm, miss this spot right here. Alright, and then what I can do with that same bloom effect, my Gaussian blur is still shared there. And that is going to do it for our Iceman. And that is going to do it for the year for us, ladies and gents. I really, really appreciate all of you, to all of the 440 subscribers and just the 10 or 15 of you that are still watching. Know that I appreciate you and am happy that you stopped by to show a little support and learn something. The whole purpose of this channel is for you to learn how to do art, maybe things you never knew you could do before, but it's 100% free. It's free lessons. I hope you're taking the time to learn something from me and then learn on your own. Again, comments help the most, so next year I'd like to see more comments on what you want to see. So in this video, leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see next year. What do you want to learn? This channel is for you. I'm not in this to make money. It's just a hobby. But I want to continue doing this and interacting with people. So let me know down in the comment section what you want to see next. I mean, other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic holiday, a great and safe new year. Remember to be kind to one another. And again, thank you so much for tuning in for this year. Can't wait for 2024 to start off. And until then, remember to keep on sketching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye.